Black men, we need you. You are very present on the football field, at the football games, right? At football practice. You are very much so involved. You are coaching, you're doing all of the things. But where we need you, where your black sons, nephews, godsons, grandsons, etc., need you, it's also at the schoolhouse.
Okay, I want to respond to that real briefly.
Can I do something real quick?
I think about this idea in general of black women needing black men. I agree with what she's saying. I know out the gate, there's going to be some of you guys who are going to just look at this completely and say, this is all cap. Y'all just reaching back. Okay, bills must be due. Those job losses must be hitting hard. Now you're trying to pull out this whole kumbaya, let's work together, because basically daddy government screwed y'all over. Like, I already know some of y'all are going to say that. So that's one. But for those who actually agree, you still believe in your community, you still want to be involved, you still want to see things improve, the reality is it's not just as simple as, oh, black men just walked away, now they can walk back. No, they were actually systematically pushed out. And in the area of education, for example, there are subtle ways that black men can be pushed out even of education. Dr. Hasan Johnson breaks this down exclusively in some of his lives, even in his book. There's this whole idea of the black male dual economy that he's talked about, where it basically describes the way in which black men are treated very differently than everyone else. A prime example might be like, oh yeah, you think black men should be able to come and, let's see, tutor or volunteer in the schools or more active. I can say, as someone who has a black husband who actually does volunteer and seek to tutor and teach STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math to black and brown kids. He has business partners who are actively interested in doing the same. I have seen with my own eyes the way they have had a lot of pushback just for trying to volunteer and help. Let it be a woman who shows up, goes and tries to tutor or get engaged or whatever, no issues. They may get the grant, they may get the funds, or they may just get open arms. But then when it's black men who are trying to get involved with the youth, with the kids, there's all the policies. You got to dot your I's, cross your T's. Maybe you're not involved here. They get funny style. They may not want you to come at certain times. So it's like there's all these extra precautions for black men trying to show up and tutor that may not exist for even black women that you're not even fully aware of. That's just an anecdotal experience of what Dr. Hasan Johnson would call the black male dual economy that I have seen with my own eyes. And then not to mention that understand education is largely feminist, which is why men across the board have pulled out, because they just don't really feel as represented. But that also has implications if you have more women who are involved in some of these positions when it comes to hiring, when it comes to maybe even the curriculum that's being approved in the book. Again, that's also going to play a role into, well, who actually has a say-so and who is invited in. So it's not just a matter of, oh, show up at the schoolhouse. It's not that easy. And I talk about this in my book. That's not Jermaine's fault. If you haven't got your copy, please be sure to do so. Shameless plug. But I actually talk about this. I talk about the black male experience in education. So check out the book. Let me know what you think, your reviews, and let's see what else she has to say.
Also present, worshiping the Lord at church. It's also present in the community.
Wait a minute.
She said worshiping the Lord at church. Whew. Okay, as someone who has been in church the entirety of my life, and even to this day, there are multiple reasons men are not there. A big reason that I've observed is because a lot of men feel that toxic feminism has even took over the church. You got men who feel as if they're not even being preached to anymore. Their issues are not even being addressed, and that it really become a way to service the needs of women, particularly single women, single mothers who are looking for someone to help them after they run into certain issues or run into certain challenges. Oftentimes they just feel like their needs aren't being met. They feel like there's actually not a space for them to be respected. And they actually feel as if male authority, there's not even a place for that at all. And again, these are just things that I've heard. Now, I know some of y'all are going to push back and say, what are you talking about? You have all the churches that are led by male pastors, but the messages they are teaching, are they speaking to the women? Are they speaking to the men? Who are they empowering? And one thing that I can say, as someone who's, me and my husband are actively involved in a church right now, we are both under spiritual authority. We have someone that we answer to. One thing that I've noticed even about the bishop at our church is that he will never overstep the leadership of my husband. He will give counsel to my husband. He will give counsel to us as a married couple. My husband decides that there's something that's best for us, for the family. He won't overstep that. He will say, that's not my place. Unfortunately, there are churches out there who have had the reputation of not respecting the place a husband specifically has in the wife's life. And sometimes there's been times where even men go to church and marriages are broke up or relationships are broke up because the woman now feels more affinity for the pastor than she does her husband. And there's just confusion around who to submit to. And so there's just ultimately, there's some men who just, I feel like they're not being represented. They feel like there's not a space for them at the church. So I think more men would actually be drawn to that if they believed there was a space for them. And this is why at the same time she's saying, you know, finding men at a place of worship, this is why you have Gen Zs who are starting to be pulled more to orthodoxy religion. At the same time, some Black women are being, you know, drawn to witchcraft because these men are looking for space where men can still have an area of leadership. And this kind of current of feminism that has integrated a lot of mainstream churches, not all, but many, you just have guys that feel like they can't, like true male leadership is no longer respected.
It's also present at that PTA, PTO, whatever you all call it, in your state at those meetings. They need you also to show up for the things that are super and uber important. And it's a lot of things outside of sports. So it's very unpopular. And I apologize if I'm stepping on some toes with this, but the same pride and priority that you put into coaching our young Black men, our Black and brown boys in sports, please put that same energy into being present in so many other areas. Black men, we need you.
You know, it's so interesting.
Sheriff, he's over here.
Black fathers, that report from the CDC a few years ago showed that Black fathers were actually the most involved. All fathers, they compared them to white, Hispanic, and Asian. But anyways, they compared Black fathers to other races and showed that they were the most involved and some of the things that she shared. So it's interesting that this message is going out to a group of men who is actually arguably the most involved when they are present. Also, we have to remember there's caveats to this. The reality is if you do have large population of single mothers who have kids and the dad is not there, there's many reasons for this. It's hard for men to be involved when they're just not there. I've broken this down in detail. It's not that you have the majority of Black men are creating kids out of wedlock and then walking away. That's not true because over 50% of Black men in America, marrying age, right, are single and childless. So the majority, I think it was like actually 54%, the majority of Black men of marrying age are single and childless in America. It's obviously not that the majority of Black men are doing that. What is happening is that there is a minority of men who are creating kids with multiple women. You may have one dad with 2, 3, 4 baby mamas with 8, right? I mean, it gets insane, right? And so you have a small percentage of Black men who create these broken homes who can't be present. It's not just a matter of every single Black man needs to show up. A lot of Black men are like, I'm not showing up for a PTA meeting when I don't have a child. I'm not showing up or to join the school board when I don't have kids in the school. Like, so it's not just that we need to put pressure on Black men as a whole, as much as we also have to look at the men that are creating these kids and the men that these women are choosing to create these kids. The issue is a lot larger than Black men just need to show up. It's not always that simple. Anyways, y'all, that's what I have about this whole topic. What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know down in the comments section. Thank you so much for listening if you've gotten this far, and we'll talk later. Bye.